My name is Chen. I am the marketing director and co-founder of wisebet.com. Thank you so much for coming this morning. 90% of the time I work from home, so it is so nice to be out here connecting with fellow bloggers, meeting people, putting names to faces, and doing all sorts of wonderful things I usually don't get to do from home, such as working with my pants on. So this is a wonderful opportunity, and let's give Philip and his great team a round of applause. This is one of the best. Now, getting to 1 million page views is something that I believe everyone in this room is capable of doing, because getting to that level, it's not really about luck, it's not about talent alone, and it's certainly not about money. It's all about having the right plan and executing that plan. Now, before we move on, well, it's a little cut off, but I know a lot of conferences, you generally kind of keep your head down, taking down a lot of notes. I want to avoid that today, so I'm putting all the presentation materials on wisebet.com/FINCON11. That's kind of the text up there. Again, that's wisebet.com/FINCON11. On that URL, you'll be able to download this presentation, also the transcript of my speech, and also a 5,000-word action plan that will cover a lot of details I wouldn't be able to otherwise get to in a 20-minute presentation. So, how did WiseBet get to 1 million page views? We did it by following the 4 C's, again 20 minutes, I have to cut some stuff out. By following the 4 C's of blog marketing. Hey, if you read the bonus plan, you get the 5th C, so don't worry about it. The 4 C's of blog marketing are, today you'll learn how to use clock management to become 43 times more efficient with your time. You'll learn how through community building you can discover the next trend or JD before they become famous. Can you imagine that to be able to be JD's best friend before he hit his 1 million page views? You'll learn how to develop awesome content that's better than professional level content. And last but not least, you'll learn how to have confidence and how having incredible confidence can immediately double or even triple your opportunities. Clock management. One of the most popular questions I get from bloggers is, how much time should I spend marketing my blog? My standard answer is 50%. Now, bloggers, understandably, are busy folks, so they're not happy when they hear this answer. And I understand, but let me see if I can try to make a case for this 50% rule. You are competing in an incredibly tough field right now. When JD and Trend and Wisebet are moving up the blogosphere, I think a lot of times during that era, if it was kind of enough to just be incredible writers or just be incredibly savvy, I think your talent alone will bring you to the top without necessarily a ton of marketing. But that's not the case today. You're competing against, for example, content farms. Is anyone here from Demand Media today? Okay, good. Demand Media, for example, is putting out 6,000 articles a day, and they're paying the writers like $15 per article. And that's just one company. Other companies are doing the same thing. You're competing against big corporations and mainstream media companies that's spending millions of dollars acquiring and marketing blogs. Now, when they do that, we know they do that because every couple of weeks we'll get contacted by these companies who want to either acquire Wisebet or they want to ask about some blogs on the Wisebet Top 100 to see if they should acquire those blogs. And usually, the budget they're talking about is in the millions of dollars. So you're competing with folks with real deep pockets here. This is kind of a long list, but obviously you're also competing against journalists who are writing great blogs now. You also compete against other bloggers. I'm sure my grandmother and her cat has a blog. This is so easy. You can start a Tumblr blog in like 2 seconds. So let's assume that you buy the argument. You should spend 50% of your time marketing. But that's still not enough because you have to use that time effectively. When I do market consulting with bloggers, one of the first questions I ask them is, what do you do in the beginning of your day? How many of you guys start your blogging day by checking email or looking at your Facebook stream? Cool. How many people do start writing content the first thing in the morning? Okay, awesome. I got you, that's what I like to do too. But however, at Wisebet, what we try to do is, every time we wake up in the morning, we try to focus on one thing and one thing only, which is building templates. Because templates are these incredible time machines that has an awesome ROI. For example, let's say you run a weekly contest, right? And every week you have to write out this 5-minute email notifying a winner that he's won something. Now, a lot of times, you don't think about ever writing a template for this email because it's only 5 minutes a week. But this innocent 5-minute week email can blossom or snowball into 1,300 minutes spent over a 5-year period, writing the same email over and over again. Now imagine if you actually spent 30 minutes, invest that time to write a real template, right, and just knock that one out, write an awesome template. You would have saved 1,300 minutes with a 30-minute investment, and that is, wait, am I on the right slide? Oh, okay. I'm kind of blind, so I have to excuse me. So you would have saved, you would have made a 43 times return on that 30-minute investment. And that's just a low estimate, actually. Imagine if I shared that template with 2 other bloggers. Now together, the 3 of us would have saved 64.5 days, which is the 130 times return. I guarantee you, nothing in your Facebook stream or in your email box that's coming in every day is going to give you 130 times return on your investment. I mean, short of Oprah writing you a personal email, offering you a talk show about personal finance, this is the best ROI you'll get all day. Other reasons why templates are awesome. When you don't have templates, you can't go on vacations, you can't train your staff effectively, and no one's going to buy your blog, because who's going to buy a blog that's going to fall apart the moment that the owner leaves it? The second C of marketing is community building. One of the most popular bits of marketing advice you'll get anywhere is that you should network with the top bloggers. Now that advice is pretty good maybe 5 years ago, but that's kind of inaccurate now. When Widespread was developing its marketing plan 5 years ago, we did in fact spend a lot of time getting to know the consumers, the Lifehacker, and JD, and Trend, and all the other great blogs at the time. But today, it's much harder for you to break that barrier, because like I said before, the competition is much harder. There's so many more personal finance blogs out there now that when you try to reach the top bloggers, a lot of times they may not have the time to dedicate to you, to mentor you, or to develop a close relationship. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't network with top bloggers, but you should just do it a lot more strategically. Wayne Gretzky, well, that's not actually Wayne Gretzky, but we're frugal, we can't pay for license images. Wayne Gretzky, one of the greatest hockey players of all time, said, "I'm successful because I skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it has been." Now, what does that mean in terms of blog marketing? Well, that means you'll get a much larger ROI in your networking efforts if you target up-and-coming bloggers instead of top bloggers who might already be out of your reach. Now, you might be thinking, all right, that's not, well, hold on, can I get one slide back? Sorry. Now, you might be thinking, oh, are we just missing this slide? Okay, my bad. You might be thinking, well, I definitely would like to target up-and-coming stars, but how do we do it? On Widespread, we made identification of up-and-coming stars a real key priority for our company. So that's why we developed the WISE 1000, which is a chart of all the top personal finance blogs that are ranked by a proprietary score that takes into account of blogs' influence, their authority, and their traffic level. And one of the best things I like about this chart is that you can go ahead and see each blog's progress throughout the weeks. So next to each blogger's name in the chart, you'll see kind of numbers like +9 or +10. And that number tells you kind of the movement throughout the chart. And we use that number to give us an idea of who the up-and-coming bloggers are. And we're totally statistical freaks about it. We do tons of analysis on stats. And we know that not everybody has the opportunity to do that analysis, so we're creating a template for you. We're developing a WISE 1000 newsletter, which will give you a weekly list of the top 30 fastest growing, as well as the fastest falling blogs. And you can get this information for free at wisebread.com/WISE1000 subscribe. Now, a lot of times, one of the questions I get asked the most is, well, why the heck would I want to figure out who the 30 fastest falling blogs are? But believe it or not, that's actually it's not just for morbid curiosity. A lot of times, when you see a great blog that's kind of on the free fall, that's actually a great time to network with them, because you know that they're otherwise a great blog, so maybe they're in trouble somehow. Maybe there's some personal crisis, or the blogger has a new job. So it's a great time to kind of swoop in and say, hey, is there anything I can do to help you out? And believe me, when you make that kind of connection at a person's greatest time of need, people will take notice, and that's where a lot of deep friendships are built. Oh, that's where the chart was. Okay, we're going to skip that. Well, now that you have an idea of how to identify the best up-and-coming personal finance bloggers, what do you do with that information? Well, in my action plan, I have a very specific, detailed plan that'll teach you how to make any blogger fall in love with you. But I just want to focus on one specific thing during this presentation, which is the importance of face-to-face conversations. I think there was a recent scientific study that said if you were holding a cup of warm coffee in your hands when you're talking to someone, you immediately develop warm feelings towards the person you're talking to. Apparently our brains are not that smart, right? Like it confuses warm physical feelings with warm emotional feelings. Well, a couple months ago, Adam Baker and Adapt2 hosted this, Adapt2 which is also a sponsor for this event, they hosted a great meetup at LA, and they were offering free tamales and tacos. If you know me in real life, you know I never turn down a free meal. So I went there, I had a great time at this gathering. And but the most important thing is I had a chance to talk to the marketing directors of Adapt2 and also marketing folks from Consumer Track. And of course, when I was talking to them, I made sure they were holding coffees, warm coffees when they're talking to me. And before this gathering, we had exchanged some emails with Consumer Track and Adapt2, but nothing really happened because there was always something that didn't quite connect. But things really clicked after this. I think Adapt2 started buying advertising on Widespread, and we talked about further collaboration tools with Adapt2 and Consumer Track. And none of this would have happened without going to this wonderful gathering. Adam, I know you probably think the check is the mail, but it's not. I appreciate the gathering, and if you ever get a chance to go to more of Adam's tours, please do so. He hosts a wonderful party. Now the next C is probably something that you guys are really good at, so I won't spend too much time on it, which is the importance of building traffic-ready content. The two keys to producing really excellent content is better than professionals is making sure you watch trends and catch brilliant ideas. Hate to pick on demand media, but they love to brag about this, by the way, during their presentations. They claim that they have this awesome algorithm that can detect and predict consumer trends and searches. And they said that around Super Bowl Sunday, they're able to detect the fact that consumers were searching for a 7-layer dip, and the search for that went up 1,300%. So obviously, they cashed in on that, right? They wrote a lot of articles about 7-layer dip. Now, Widespread, even though we have a genius CTO, we don't have money to develop any awesome algorithms like that. So what we do is to rely on our eyeballs. This is what you can do too. What you can do is kind of keep your eye out on big media companies like Demand Media or Associated Content or Yahoo MSN, and look at what articles they're putting up on their home pages on a daily basis, and you can kind of free write off their research. For example, if you see Demand Media writing about similar dips, you probably want to write an article about 5 ways to make chips for $1, or 7 reasons why guacamole is good for you. I don't actually think we have those articles here, but we should have written it. Now, this strategy will help keep you competitive with these big media companies, but it's not enough to play catch-up. Sometimes to be really awesome and stay ahead of the pack, you also have to have really great ideas of your own. And we try to do this at Widespread by adopting a 6 inches rule, which is none of us are ever more than 6 inches away from a great idea recording device. It could be a notebook or an iPhone or some kind of voice recorder, whatever works for you. And what we do is we don't censor ideas. When we come up with an idea, we just immediately record it into the notebook or write it down. So at the end of the day or the end of the week, I spend about like 20 minutes just kind of looking through the notes. Some of those ideas are truly scary and idiotic, but it's important not to censor it because your brain knows that once it knows that it will be listened to, you will keep feeding you with these great ideas, and a lot of the best content and marketing ideas we got from Widespread come from these notebooks that we kept for ourselves. Now, the next C, the final C is confidence. I think you can immediately double or even triple your opportunities if you have more confidence in yourself. And here's an example of how you would do it. Every day, I'm sure you're getting lots of pitch emails from other people wanting you to do things for them, right? They want you to review their products or give them a free link or write some free content for them. Now, in the beginning, I was very wary of these emails because I don't like saying no to people. So it's kind of a sidekick drain on me to having to read these pitches. But later on, I realized that every single one of these pitches is an opportunity for me to reverse pitch somebody. So for example, let's say a publisher wrote me an email wanting me to review a book that I don't think is very good. In fact, I think it's lousy, so I don't really want to review it. What I would do is respond with my own email saying, hey, dear Mr. Johnson, thank you so much for reaching out to us. I don't think this book is right for us. However, I noticed on your website that your agency also represented Susie Orman on a lot of other things. And we, in fact, think she'll be perfect for our audience, but we have these 5 other things that we can do on Widespread that's great for promoting authors and something that you have to pay for, blah, blah, blah. And I listed out all these wonderful things. Now, the 2 great things about this email is, 1, it saves time because I didn't have to find this guy. He found me, and we're already in a conversation together, so that saved a lot of time. And 2, I wrote this long email. It's really professional, but remember the first year, plot management and developing templates, I didn't have to write that email out. It's already in a template. So that took me like 5 seconds to reverse pitch someone, and that revelation just totally blew my mind, and we got so many more opportunities that way. So instead of sending people rejection letters, we're telling them, hey, I love you. This is not right, but let's do something else together. Now, this is something that's really basic. I think all of you guys have thought about doing it, or maybe already are doing it, but not 100% of the time. And I think the reason why we don't do it more often is because it's because that we don't have enough confidence in ourselves. There's various reasons why we're not more confident in our marketing. I think part of it is because our parents, especially Asian parents, like to tell you that it's best to be humble about yourself, don't talk about yourselves too much. Society has a dim view of marketing. I mean, if you really watch Mad Men closely, Don Draper is kind of a jerk, right? So a lot of times you kind of get this feeling that marketing your blog is something that's kind of low in priority because you don't feel good about doing it. I really would like you to get over that mental hump because think about it. Your blog saves people money. So basically, when you're pitching yourself, you're saying, help me help you save money. That's fairly selfless. That's a very important thing you're doing. And that's not too bad of a job that you can do at home without your pants on. So I really think that the most important thing to take away, aside from the templates and looking at the WISE 1000 chart and newsletter, is really to focus on developing that mentality shift to go ahead and make sure that every day you're pitching someone, you do it with confidence and you do it with pride. And if you do so, I'm sure you guys will be well on your way for your own personal journey to 1 million page views. And, well, thank you very much.